I'm on Patreon, and Patreon is a platform where I will upload interesting videos where you can learn astrology. And this is an exclusive Patreon only membership videos where you will get some interesting takes on Vedic astrology, some interesting learning on Vedic astrology, much more deep insights on Vedic astrology, and lot more secrets will be shared there. So from 24th June till 8th of July, your third lord will be in the third house. Mercury will be associating itself with the sun. Now see, Mercury is going to be very fast. It is like from 24th June till 8th July. You can see it is 8 plus 6, 14, 15 days of transit. Now this couple of weeks is going to be crucial, because if you have committed any mistake, financial mistake more, and something has gone wrong in a personal space, this is the time to correct it. This is the time to accept your apology. This is the time to focus more on your efforts and focus on the data that has been omitted or that has been left behind or somehow ignored. That means you have to be very analytical in your approach. One more thing, during this entire period, Mercury is going to watch both Mars and Venus, which will be in the sign of Cancer, second from this Buddha, crossing the junction of Gandanta of Ashlesha and Magha Nakshatra, the barrier of Cancer and Leo zodiac sign. Which means that Mercury, which is your potential dispute, which is your potential of activating something, achieving something, your courage, your communication skill, will have to be utilized fully in order to restrain yourself from doing anything that you think will be good for you, and that can be like intoxicating yourself, or watching negative movies, focusing on the pessimistic ideas. And rather, this entire energy has to be used to wait, hold yourself back while the Mars and Venus exits out of the Gandanta. Especially in relationship, your communication skills will bring more clarity, and in marriage you can save a possible disaster if you quit that ego-based communication and rather bring in that intelligent, humble, grounded communication. People involved in government sector, communication sector, who are writers, journalists, people who are involved in banking, transactions, risk management, will see great boost in their career during this time. Sixth lord coming in third house also means that you will approach to your supervisor, government boss, somebody who is a senior, somebody who is in authority, to tell your plight, to tell your problems, and then your problems will be heard very soon. So this is the right time to address and give your voice to the problems that you're facing. But remember, because you're giving voice to your problem, you should not be very authoritative there. You should be very polite, humble, and no jealousy should come. Any trick, any planning to pull down somebody, or any trick or planning done to out of jealousy or out of comparison or with any negative intention, will be met harshly by the ninth Saturn, which is ninth from Sun and Mercury. And remember, Saturn is retrograde. And when Mercury will move to Cancer, Saturn will be 8th from this Buddha, which means it can simply collapse the very plan that you have been planning. And I'm not saying everybody, but the certain set of people. If you have a negative Mercury in your chart, pray to Bhagwan Ganesh, chanting Om Gam Ganpate Namah will be extremely auspicious. Taurus Ascendant. Now from 24th June till 8th of July, when Mercury will be in your second house, Mercury will experience Mars and Venus moving out of the third house, crossing the Gandanta and moving in the fourth house. All this while Buddha will be combust in front with Sun, which is also in the sign of Gemini. So definitely this is the time where you will see that your communication will be suppressed, and you will see that you might not be able to express yourself positively, or you are being misunderstood or unheard. In such case, you need to find the right avenue. Don't keep the negative emotions within your heart. Talk to your friends and family, especially if you are feeling any distress related to any kind of crisis in your home. there is no point holding back the pain and suffering. Rather, this is the right time to communicate, but in the right platform. First, your parents, then a counselor, a guru, a mentor. Especially for students who are feeling some health issues or who are depressed or who feel the burden of the studies, this is the time when you should talk to your parents. And parents should also understand the burden of studies on the children. Uh, because Mercury is in the second house, naturally, Mercury in second house performs really well. Mercury being in the second house in the Dhan Bhava will create more transactions. But if the transaction is to create an asset, then you must be very careful that you are doing the right thing and you must focus on the right output of the asset, because return of investment can be a question. After all, this is a combust Mercury, and this Budh is combust by the fourth lord. So definitely out of a necessity, if an asset is being formed, that's fine. But then you need to know your limits. Don't cross your limits. Don't prove anything to anyone. Just lead your life with comfortably. Mercury is in its own zodiac sign. At the end of the day, this Budh wants to save your money, focus more on savings rather than expenses, and this is not the right time to travel. If travel can be avoided, avoid or postpone. But if there is a travel, then chant Ganesh Kavach 7 times every day. Gemini Ascendant. For you, Mercury will move in the first house. It is a very auspicious transit. Sun is also in your first house. There will be a proper Buddhaditya Yoga when Mercury will enter the sign of Gemini. But Mercury will be combust throughout the transit of Buddha in your first house. Which only means that there will be some matters in your mind, some matters in your home that will always cloud your thoughts. But I don't read this combustion as a negative combustion. It will give you a proper clarity to resolve the issues. Just the one thing that you will have to remember, that your own ego, your own desire, your own self-confidence can overshadow the logic, the information that you receive, and then you can commit mistakes. So that is the only concern this Mercury transit in the Gemini is for you. You will have to be very, very cautious about your comfort zone, something that you assume is going to be beneficial for you. No assumption, no decision should be based on assumption. Rather than have proper data analysis done, go with proper logic and reasoning when Buddha is on your Lagna. Chanting Ganesh Atharva Shirsha, chanting Om Gam Ganpate Nama are some of the ways by which you can manage this Mercury transit and actually make it in your favor. Cancer Ascendant. Now, in case of Cancer Ascendant, Mercury transit will happen in your 12th house. Now, this is actually slightly negative. I have discussed this in Sun transit also, that Sun in the 12th house is Maradkaraka. Mercury in the 12th house is more like it's more like outflow of money rather than inflow. So your expenses will increase and income might take a hit during this time. So be very, very careful, especially because people who are earning in a foreign currency, who are earning from a foreign land, export and import will be will see positive boost. Creator and influencers, someone who is writer, freelancers, doctors, and somebody who is working in the hospital, accountants, CA will actually see their career growing like anything during this time. But for a general public, you will have to be very careful about how you speak. Your words can actually create losses, unexpected mood swings, especially not because of Mercury in the 12th house, but add Mars and Venus also on the Lagna while they are in Ashlesha Nakshatra. Remember, Ashlesha is the nakshatra of Mercury. So you are heavily impacted by Buddha. Chanting Ganesh Atharva Shirsha, going to a Ganesh temple, chanting Om Gam Ganpate Nama is like a must here. And chanting Ganesh Kavach every day and praying to Bhagwan Ganesh and seeking protection early in the morning is something that you can do to protect yourself from the negative energies. Good thing is that Jupiter, which is basically in your 10th house, which is going away from Rahu, is a great blessing for you. So visiting a temple, doing some charity, helping teachers, distributing books, helping students, and learning Sanskrit or any other ancient language will be great and will be helpful. Whatever you do, do by knowing the consequence of your action. Leo. Now, in case of Leo as an ascendant, Buddha will move in your 11th house. This is an excellent movement for you because when Mercury goes in your 11th house, it's your second lord coming in the 11th house. So it's a big Rajyog. This will give you better chances of income. This will give you strong chances to increase your profits. You will also see that your own savings will be now invested to earn more money. Just that don't hand over your money as a loan to someone, because then there can be a chance of being cheated, because Buddha will be combust, and you will also be seeing that there will be responsibilities where you will have to pull out your FDs or any deposit just to allow things to run in the fine direction. As long as it is your kartavya, your duty, your responsibility, it is okay. But when you go for charity, don't overdo anything, because there will be a high chance when you will try to overdo things. Expenses will also increase, and it can simply go beyond a certain control. In order to show yourself how good you are, how good Samaritan you are, you can actually do in excess. And remember, excess of anything is bad. If you keep this in mind, Buddha transit will be exceptional. It will give you learning. It will give you income. So pray to Bhagwan Ganesh and Bhagwan Narayan by chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. Virgo. In case of Virgo, Mercury will move in your 10th house, and Mercury transit in Gemini is especially auspicious for you, considering your ascendant or your moon sign is ruled by Buddha himself. This will give you new opportunities in your career. 10th house is also about name and fame, and there is a Buddha-Aditya Yoga, Sun-Mercury conjunction happening. So you can expect something really positive when Buddha will go do its transit in Gemini zodiac sign. But there is something also happening around 11th and 12th house. So between 1st and 7th of July, while Mercury will complete or move into the second phase or the second half of Gemini, first Mars will move out of Cancer and move to Leo, which is your 12th house. And then Venus will move out of Cancer and move to Leo a day before Mercury will leave Gemini, which is 7th of July. And you will see that because of Mars and Venus movement from 11th to 12th, this Buddha can result into expenses for career, expenses related to business, investments, and possible new learnings. So you will see that there will be travel involved related to business, transaction will happen. It will benefit a lot of people whose work was stuck for a long time. But if you are investing or spending money with a hope that it will give you tremendous boost in your career, so you must watch out for that. Otherwise, Sun and Mercury in the 10th house is going to be extremely positive. It is good to improve your image in society. It is good to improve your overall dignity and personality. Libra. Now, in case of Libra, Mercury is going to go in your 9th house. Now, this is something very, very unique. 12th Lord going into the 9th house, and this Mercury, which is with Sun in Libra, is in Gemini, will come in trine with Libra, in trine with Aquarius. And there is a retrograde Saturn in Aquarius. There is a Ketu being present in Libra. So for Libra, this is going to be a time of revelations. This is going to be the time of guidance. This is going to be the time of finding the light and basically correcting your way. So a lot of corrections will happen. So be ready for changes. Be ready for some minor manipulation in your career. Be ready for certain aspects in your life that you will have to revisit, and that might shake your belief or even strengthen your belief system. So the more flexible you will be during Mercury in Gemini, the better your life will be. It might also happen that a divine order supersedes your expectation or supersedes your will to act in a certain way. That is why go with the flow and become more and more humble. This is the right time to pray to Bhagwan Ganesh by chanting Om Gam Ganapate Namah. By praying to Bhagwan Ganesh, you will be in a much better shape to take decisions in life. And you will also see that the pattern that Mercury and Sun will create in the ninth house will act as a mentor, as a guru, and as a guide. For professional people, for people who want to enroll into higher education, this is a very good time. Scorpio. Now, Scorpio ascendant and moon sign native is going to see a Mercury transit in the 8th house. And now this will be a Sun and Mercury in the 8th, which means it will take you to a position where you will have to do a lot of data mining, data analysis. Anyone who is associated with these kind of fields is going to see something bright coming your way. But observe Mars and Venus in the 9th house. They are in Ashlesha, nakshatra of Buddha, while Mercury is in the 8th house. This is the time when you will feel that you need to know more about things in life and you will do more research. Your mind will analyze things and sometimes overanalyze. It can come out as a competition, as a saving grace for your ego. Also, this can benefit people who are involved in medicine, who are involved in advanced studies, who are involved in some niche technological skills. Also, astrologers, occult practitioners will see this Mercury is nothing but consciousness getting connected to the other dimension. Psychics, psychologists, healers will also see great boost in their energies during this time, which might result into a life-changing experience. So, Scorpio native should watch out for basically Mars transit in the sign of Leo, because when Mars will move into Leo and cross the Gandanta of Ashlesha and Magha, that is when the transition, that is when the transaction of energy will happen and something positive will come your way. So Mercury transit in Gemini between 1st and 8th of July holds far more significance. And right now, while Mars, your ascendant lord, is in Ashlesha Nakshatra, pray to Bhagwan Shiva and chant Mahamrityunjay mantra. Sagittarius. In case of Sagittarius, if you observe, Mercury rules your 10th and 7th house, and this Buddha goes in the 7th house. Therefore, it balances the equation in marriage, makes things far more positive. It will stabilize any problem or dilemmas that you encounter in your married life, also in your business. Sun and Mercury in the 7th will create new partnerships, will bring in new fortune your way, and businessmen will see a positive time, while Buddha will be in this. Also considering that Mars and Venus, which is in your 8th house, causing chaos, is going to go out of that 8th house position. So for you also, once Mars moves to Leo, Mercury is in Gemini, that will be great time. But still, relationship should be, dealt carefully. You will have to be very careful about your communication, inflammation in the body, nervous system. You will have to go slow in your life. Don't rush. Go with the flow and have an inclusive scheme of life. The more you will try to be exclusive, the less your life will give you. Also, you will observe that Jupiter will be in Bharani Nakshatra by now. And once Jupiter is in Bharani Nakshatra, which is in your 5th house, this gives tremendous opportunity to earn through market, earn through, new business opportunities, and learn new ways to earn income. And this will open up new avenues for you to grow. Overall, this is going to be an exceptionally good time for Sagittarius natives. Capricorn. Now for Capricorn, we cannot just assess Mercury's position in the 6th house. Mercury in Gemini in the 6th house will be with Surya, Sun. And Sun is basically your 8th lord. Now when Sun is 8th lord in the 6th house, it's a Viparit Rajyog, and now bring Mercury, which is your 9th lord, as well as the 6th lord. So this is where you will see that the problems, disputes, disease will now start to fade away. It will give you necessary information, intelligence, guidance, and an eyesight to solve the problem. Sometimes you see the problem, but you don't know what to do with it. But now the problem resolution will come your way. It will come into the vision. So this is definitely a great time to correct your mistakes, to focus on the loopholes, work with your juniors, and bringing everybody together, work with your staff, and try to address pain areas, engage into crib sessions, and try to be in one sync with your team and with your supervisors. Does not matter whether you're in job or business. 6th house Sun Mercury conjunction can create new job opportunities, can give you new horizons to explore, and also can bring in ideas from unexpected areas, from unexpected people. So the more open you are, good for you. The more conservative and the more egoistic, negatively egoistic you will be, the more problems you will experience. And when there is a Buddhaditya Yoga in the sixth house, the enemy is stronger than you. So the when you try to solve the problem, this Vipreet Rajyog will give you better solution that you have not expected, and a solution that will give you an unexpected outcome. You can convert this transit into a very well positive transit. After all, Mercury loves sixth house. It's a playground of numbers. Use facts and numbers. Aquarius. In case of Aquarius, Mercury will move in your fifth house. The fifth house is about romance, about expression, about learning, about children. And Mercury being in that house gives you an opportunity to connect with that house better. Sun gives light, Mercury gives communication. So you will see that you will be able to establish better communication with your project, with your team, with your children. Your expression will be far more intelligent, and people will love the way you will put forward your words, especially if you're a writer, orator, speaker, into creative writing, if you're into journalism, if you're into academics. All will be witnessing a tremendous positive jump, a leap by this Mercurian energy. Chanting Ganesh Bhagwan mantra, Vakratund Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada is going to exceptionally help you manage energies. Also, Sun Mercury conjunction in the fifth house can give you new learning opportunities, can make you feel that you need to learn more. So grow with it. Don't get panicked if there is a competition right in front of you. But this is like a message that you should not stagnate yourself whenever the question of knowledge comes in. Reading Bhagavad Gita, reading relevant books, doing certifications are some of the ways by which you can extract maximum of this Mercury transit. Remember, Mercury is an important planet for you, especially if you are involved in stock market, if you are involved in speculative gains, business. Mercury is there for you. Also, your relationship with your in-laws will improve. Pisces. For Pisces, there will be a Sun and Mercury conjunction in the fourth house when Mercury moves to Gemini zodiac sign. Now, again, for you, Mercury holds fourth house and seventh house because Gemini and Virgo. And you will see that this is a time when your spouse's career will grow. But on the other hand, your own career, your own professional life will take a hit. Your own comfort zone will take a hit, considering Mars move to the sixth house on 1st of July. Now, when you see that there is a movement of Mars followed by a movement of Venus going into the sixth house, you have to be very careful because this is your second lord going into the sixth house. And when you talk about Venus, you're talking about your eighth lord going into the sixth house. So definitely there is a Vipreet Rajyog. Now, why am I seeing this with respect to Mercury? Because with respect to Buddha, Mars and Venus will be in the third house. Fourth house Buddha will experience Mars and Venus in the sixth house, third house from Buddha. And Mercury being the planet of communication and engagement, from Mercury you need to see third house, which is called courage of planet, communication of communication. So you will have to be very careful how you use your language, you use your communication skills, because that can create enemies, break relations, create differences, disturbances, misunderstandings. So correct your body language, check your tone, and focus on the words that you use. Be prepared as much as possible and avoid conflicting environment or conflicting discussions. Avoid arguments on social media and try to remain humble as much as possible. Fourth house, Sun and Mercury will also bring in your connection with your mother in a positive way.